I have for watch across one TV in the day sense of movie biara akwaba na ichi onwe na in the 1st July 2023 na the 1st July 1960 in Ghana or republic na eka republic cry on the then send o money bo ha or independent but on your republic until as at 1957 independence and still and a republic will send we were using laws or British government or the man and on into that no Kwame prime minister and a governor no so or what or share no do now until 1st July 1960 and a year baby or republic and republican the republican no Ghana a Supreme Court I am saying the answer because until before that time in idea Ghana, highest court of the land, the British Privy Council. And saying some and so once I get a cooperating or in between make it, but in 1960, Republican maybe the Supreme Court. That time say establish a flag, maybe a Ghana flag because them time they use the British flag or the Union Jack, and holding you be a national anthem. Now, actually, there was something a bit peculiar because 1960, graduate from that system now called Republican status. There of what Twaba, no what the constitution is to. And that very same day now, so and now we are there in a kind of force and so Twaba, who the president of the First Republic. We are the First Republican or Twaba, we are the Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the CPP, which is the United Party almost were feeling opening your friend JP Dampa on Sujine, but all Twabano, or other Kwame Nkrumah Unwini, or JP Dampa, and or other Ghana for accepted the Yambra or the 1960 First Republican. In 1960, First Republican began on the 1st of July or 1960, and the Madonna Ghana, Yeshasa Yankasa. You put an amins, you did an amins now. I can say, Braya, she say, yes, the oil or manado. In the CCH, I will tell your fourth Republican Constitution, and Aberdeen Timpo, and the warrior, the fourth Republican Constitution. In there, and obey Yerba, they are which you. Mendica Menkasude, Omana, in the Woso, your name feet. Emma, yes, Messi, yes, the brown, yeah, or yeah, a job paying your supermarket. It's open your supermarket or warrior and a bit too many director Mr. Solomon Ingu and you need to come on 0244 039 298 0244 039 298. The man you at this fashion almost won't hear my bill. I'll call you tap right there once I left. You do hear my just stone will paint in blue upon the boom warrior at this fashion. And then Madam Adrina and then didn't come on 0540 0540 51 4730 0540 51 4730. I tell you, be about to know what come up on being Fuzo, Mr. Fuzo, then you're about to know which you pull. I want to understand what production, the warrior manual or Bubedi, Yaki or Mali, the man you are, Brent here friend Chris Yawson, Lyrica, Chris Yawson, do now friend Lyrica, the Wakiti, Seba of Aisha to Zakaria, Manuel Knight Arthur, Michael Bain, Legacy, only in our war, Mrs. Yes, the brown one. Now, Apple there, since to create all the Fourth Republic now, Mexican Mercato on the or your First Republic, in the 1st July 1960. Kwame Nkrumah ruled from at that time, and actually, 1st July 1960 Republican Constitution. One of the features are not very significant. And on Yada, you or your vice presidential portfolio. On Yada, your vice president, is a president, or to connect your man, woman. And you set up a 3-member committee. The 3-member committee, and I'm a kind of Esmahin, our fan and Uncle Free the first, to watch the 3-member committee. And one major feature are not very significant because in the 1960 Constitution, you need a vice presidential portfolio. And under the 1960 Constitution, also the First Republican, and the Yubebenya or a one-party state. They do maybe from 1964 to 1966. Ghana practice a one-party state. Or you there, the jury, one-party state. Or you there constitutional or bandy the formation of every other political party. every other political party. And in 1960, and CPP, and from 1964 to 1966, Oya party, Olu. And because of that, there were no legal way, and people will change government. So it compelled the military to stage a coup d'etat. It compelled the military to stage a coup d'etat. So on the 24th of February 1966, when Kwame Nkrumah and I traveled to Hanoi or Vietnam, and occurs settle or conflict and or military no overthrown or Sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, led by Abranti friend of Kutuka and General Ankra and Afrifa. On one no stage coup d'etat. What it's here or Sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And see the Fourth Republican Constitution on the 24th of February 1966, because the moment there is a coup d'etat, the Constitution ceased to exist. When you have the Constitution or you do maybe when you have that you civilian rule, but we are under military rule. Military no order number or the military no using your friend decree. And the military no share the Marbury or there the Marbury or there sorry. And see on one bed of forming what we call the National Liberation Council. National Liberation Council headed by General Oye Ankra. Now General Ankra wants another answer because they were military men, and they were quickly forming constitutional constituent assembly to draft another constitution for the Second Republican Constitution, which was headed by Justice Edward Akufo-Addo, the current president. Another Danko Akufo-Addo and Papa. No headed the constituent assembly. So yada quickly the ban on political parties was lifted. The Second Republican Constitution here to Aba. The Constitution or allow for what we call the parliamentary system of government. The parliamentary system of government here there is a head of state and the head of government. Its head of state, would be either a president, an elected president, and the queen. Therefore, in the case of Britain, there you were king, CCAD, you were king, and King Charles, the head of state, and they were prime minister. And in 1969, Ghana had a Second Republican Constitution practice a parliamentary system of government. Other Dr. Ufia prefer Buzia, K. Buzia, prime minister, that's the head of government. And Yatuaba on 31st of August 1970, and Justice Edward Akufo-Addo also Owinia or president. It's on the head of state and the Akufo-Addo K. Buzia, also the head of government. And that's where Second Republican Constitution also obeyed. So that's why the Second Republican Constitution started from September 1969. And under that Constitution, they practiced what we called the parliamentary system of government. But unfortunately, on the side of Akufo-Addo and Buzia, on the January 13th, 1972, and another military man also toppled administration. January 13th, 1972, and Opina, your friend Ignatius Kutuicham, Colonel Ignatius Kutuicham, there also a toppled government, no form a military group known as the National Redemption Council. The National Redemption Council. Now, the National Redemption Council in 1975, and also sending obey the Supreme Military Council, because military no one branch there. Afroba goes in the middle rank, but not or they salute or opinion or those in the higher rank, the generals. But in this case, on one our stage Kuno, there were people from the lower ranks and the people from the higher ranks. In cinema, those in the higher ranks don't salute those in the lower ranks. So open them no there. What's that? Now what's it? Now we lay off why more formally in all top officials. See the Supreme Military Council one in 1975. But unfortunately, on the side because the people are agitating. It's in 1977. But yet, what Waba now we form what we call the union government. Or union government. And union government in most people in the state work kicking against it. They form what we call the People's Movement for Freedom and Justice, PMFG. People's Movement for Freedom and Justice and the president already another Danko Kufa General Secretary Dimoye Ukua them, and they kicked against union government. But unfortunately, what happened? Campaign city there union government will renew. But unfortunately, on July 5th, 1978, a champion face what you call Palace Coup. Palace Coup Nano Profunala, the Uyi, the champion, on the field. Frederick W. Obebetina, Econodo, 1978. But they were slated there, the Botswana in Oye 1979. 1979, Yaosha country into the Third Republic. Now, on May 15th, 1979, and opening a friend flight lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings also attempted coup d'etat, but unfortunately it was abortive. The coup was unsuccessful. And see, watching why there on June 4th will be denounced. The June 4th and a potato and a branch to the Captain Kwachijan, Mensa Poku, and an answer at Yemumu was staging coup d'etat. Almost was staging Jerry John Rawlings, winning fee or your prisons. Well, was staging or a successful coup d'etat. And successful coup d'etat now was staging. And our forming a military group on the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council, AFRC, Armed Forces Revolutionary Council. But what be one sister that what to abano into Oyadea what to aba as it was said, because constitution and previous military group no was set into the Third Republican status on Yadia was the son into Ghana, your share into the Third Republican status on 24th of September 1979. Oyade what to abano first round on the day on Yadia Obiatu Mirini because Oyade Dr. Hillary Man ne PNP People's National Party on ya 35%, 35.3%. And now Victor Wusu ne PFP People's Front Party on Sunya 29%. So Yado Bialanya the 50% required now able to model form of government. Into Oyadea, the second round. The second round in a Dr. Hillary Man on the party no winning. And under that constitution, one major feature was that we practice strictly presidential form of what government. You got a presidential form of government. A country or practice BCCLR able to meet that to America. Under this system, say a minister before you can become a minister, unless need a member of parliament. Before you can become a minister, you need a member of parliament. Into say parliamentarian never appoint to as minister or they resign as member of parliament. Never be a minister. Into one major year. Liman appointing most of the ministers from parliament. Into most by elections. Because although no one resign, no one take up ministerial appointment. And on and the Third Republican Constitution, under Hillary Liman, and Hillary Liman no be president. The vice president, J.W.S. De Graaf Johnson, because under this system, or the president and the vice president. But unfortunately for him, on the 31st of December 1981, in the flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, coming back, staged another coup with a group called the Provisional National Defense Council. Provisional National Defense Council, PNDC. And on will stay in power from 82 January to January 7th, 1993. Because on one was a country into the Fourth Republican Constitution because what be better to go to a point and it was necessary there we will go to the IMF and the World Bank. One major policy conditionality ye there country be or democratic country be democratic. So now President Rawlings has no other option than the Oba accept democracy into a formula committee be walk around Justice DFN and Odana walk around what can you people's view about how the constitution should be formed. And now what form the Constituent Assembly headed by Professor SKB Asante. Professor SKB Asante and what form Constituent Assembly yet what about approving Constitution on April 28, 1992. April 28, 1992. And now what did you man on 7th November 1992? He staged the first presidential elections. Under the Fourth Republican Constitution. Now, there party today, NDC, they went into alliance and they found the Progressive Alliance with party today, PCB, cancer, cancer, name party, until them cancer, or baby, running with the man, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, and NPP, the New Patriotic Party, or find a new route from the UP, UDCC, UP, DCP, PP, PFP, on one over two the New Patriotic Party. And you call back at Caribbean in 1979 elections, Obi to the opinion before a member of parliament, Atuma constituency 1979 before of parliament in 1979, 1969. Mampenyin before no sanso or parliament. Now, in 1992 after elections, and now Albert Dubois and the MPP would do Kugu. Now, Albert Dubois and the MPP would do Kugu. They believed that the elections was rigged. Into parliamentary elections that was slated on 7th of December 1992. No, MPP boycotted the NDC and an ally were forming government in 1992 under the 1992 Fourth Republican Constitution. It's only in the year the Fourth Republican Constitution. The first Republican Constitution started from 1st July 1960 to 24th of February 1966. And the second Republican Constitution, that is the second Republic, was started on the 24th of September 1969 and ended on January 13th, 1972. And the third Republic also started on September 24th, 1979 and ended on December 31st, 1981. And the fourth Republican Constitution, that has been the longest constitution, the longest dispensation, started from January 7th, 1993. And actually, we have had a lot of elections. 1992 first elections, 96. NDC or retaining the seats. Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. 2000 MPP power. John Ejekun Kufuor Onyini. 2004 John Ejekun Kufuor and MPP Onyini. 2008 Professor John Evans Fifi Atamus Ogonyini elections. And on Ofima on the 24th of July 2012 Olusi Owi and the Vice President. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or Ascendia or Bear 2012 elections on Winnie 2016. The elections na the Danko Kufa the NPP was sent to Bear Winnie elections in the 2020. The elections are winning. The Fourth Republican Constitution has served as on say Ghana. Net today, your Fourth Republic. This is the history behind the Fourth Republic. There were another the history behind the republics are Ghana, Kenya, so far. Watch one TV and then so Yajiper, the history behind the four various Republican dispensations of Ghana, Kenya. Yes, I bring one. I bought for a day. I bring away. A Jaw Pen your supermarket and at this fashion. Contact the Mabuafi to move with anyone. But to now, friend, director for a Jaw Pen your supermarket on 0244 039 298. At this fashion, madam. Madam Adriana Baby on 0540 514730. I want to was one as producers here. Chris Yossin, good enough for Lyrica, Emmanuel Obubedin, Omali, Madam Aisha Zakaria, Manuel Nice Arthur, Michael Benyin Legacy, and Amia Major Pina message to Mrs. Brown 1 year. Nicholas Apolega Kofi, Yakramo, Division.